Austin Love, Holly Strano, Dave Chudowski, and Lindsey Buckingham. We know you're probably waking up all groggy, like, oh, I stayed up for the Super Bowl, or maybe you went to bed after halftime and thought, that was a blowout. We are going to be talking about the Super Bowl. We want to know what you thought of the game, the performances, the blowout, and Tom Brady, the GOAT. But first, as you leave your house today, if you have to leave your house, it is a cold one. Holly, can you prepare us for what people will expect as they leave?
Yeah, bitter cold is definitely the phrase, and it's going to continue to be through much of the week and even looking ahead beyond that. So we're going to have to get used to this. We've got some tips coming up with Lindsay, who is going to help you out with that. But, single digits, we don't even have much of a breeze this morning. Even with light winds at 5 to 10 miles an hour, some wind chills are below zero. So if there was any kind of significant wind, we'd be in trouble. We'd have wind chill warnings and everything else. We don't have that today. But we're only going to end up in the low 20s for highs. That's where we should be right now. And if you're watching this later, our normal morning low is 23 degrees. So we're obviously well below that. We only hit 18 yesterday. It's going to be those upper teens, low 20s, more or less through the next week. Plus, a heads up for tomorrow morning's commute. We are tracking snow. And it's not necessarily the, amount of it, Danielle, is, it's going to be the timing of it. So just a heads up.
That means give yourself extra time. And Holly, I know you have to go really quickly, but when will we see a warm up?
Not in the near future.
Right.
That just shot us down.
I'm gonna go back to bed now.
If it were up to me, it would be
Holly, you just
sunny. Just remember that. If it were up to me. Okay, I'm gonna go do it.
All right. Well, Lindsay, we need your help here because we know that you were on top of the tips this morning to keep us warm. What do you have? What are some tips that we can make it through? Because Holly says we're not seeing a warm up anytime soon.
I know that hurt my heart a little bit. I've got to be honest, but really simple stuff that you wouldn't think of immediately, but things like, I'm sure all of you have gone out and you've gone to your car and your door is frozen and my alarm is going off. Sorry, guys.
Wake up, Lindsay.
Right.
It says make kids lunches. So I've got to do that right after this. But you've gone out to your car and you try to get in, your door is frozen shut. Now, some people advise that you do not pour boiling water. You don't want to do that because you can shatter your glass because of the extreme contrast in temperatures. But if you get a pitcher of water that's just warm, that will start to melt away some of those, ice formations on your handle or just kind of thaw it out. And it does work. So that's one. Another thing you can do, it sounds so simple, but it's dreamy. Keep hand warmers in your pockets. Mm-hmm. I should have thought of that months ago, but if you just, have them in your pockets and you have to be outside a lot, they're lifesavers, they work. The other thing, and this is really cool, and I never ever knew about this until yesterday. If you run your ceiling fan on low, it pushes the warm air back down around the room. And you think of it as what comes up, what comes down. So what must come down. So warm air rises. If you have that fan going a little bit, it pushes out the air all over the room and then you can stay nice and toasty. So simple things, but I really did learn a lot when I was putting this story together. I also have to tell you, at the end of my story today, you saw me throw the snowball at my phone. I hit my fiance in the face with the snowball.
You hit who?
I hit my fiance, David, in the face with the snowball. So that part didn't get captured, but that's what happened behind the scenes.
Saw the little silhouette of you behind the snow. Oh, poor. It's Valentine's Day on Sunday, so you're going to have to make up for that.
Yeah, no more snowballs this Sunday for sure.
Tell him he did a good job, though. That's a big
good sport.
Cameraman.
Well, Cindy Weaver and Mark Kessler, thank you for joining. I see you checking in. We appreciate that. Also, let us know if you have any tips to stay warm. As Holly said, if you're just joining and you miss Holly, little preview of the forecast, we're not getting warm anytime soon.
Wait, can I share a tip?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Mo.
Okay, so on air, I told Lindsay about the Thermacare heat wraps. That was from a friend of mine who was from the South, who ended up doing like a couple of years work in Minneapolis, she was like, no, I wore a thermacare heat wrap, the one that goes around your lower back, like if you're outside for any extended period of time. But I'm telling you, here's another like cheap way to just like walk around with a little heater. Like if you don't go and get those hand warmers, throw rice in a sock. Okay. Close it up, rubber band, whatever, however you can make it tight so the rice doesn't fall out. So rice in a sock, throw it in the microwave for a minute or two, and it's a little like mini heat pack for a little while. I walk around with one in my house all the time. My husband makes fun of me so bad. But like this type of cold weather, like your hands just get cold when you're just in your house, and it helps.
So true.
Pam, there you go. Pam
And then
Armstrong.
when you're finally warm, you just throw it in and you start boiling it, and there's dinner. There you go.
There's dinner for you.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Make sure that sock is clean though.
I did your socks clean. Yeah, exactly. I did this in college, and a guy friend of mine goes, "Tough times at the Kyle household."
Yeah. Why is this rice so salty? What's going on
Why
here?
are you walking around with a bag of rice? Anyway, I swear by it.
Oh, well, Pam Armstrong, she has one. She says, stay in bed under flannel sheets. So
Yeah, there you
flannel
go.
sheets, that's great. So for those of you who work from home and you don't have to turn your Zoom on, maybe you can work in your bed with your flannel sheets. And then Liz, she reminds you to bring your animals in, because if it's cold to you, it's cold to them. All righty. Now another big talker that we have, Super Bowl. Who stayed up to watch the entire game? Come on, put it in the chat, put it in the comments right now. Were you surprised? I picked the Kansas City Chiefs. I didn't realize it was going to be a blowout. I mean, Dave, Austin, you guys are my sports gurus. I mean, help me. What happened? Lord.
Yeah, well, I did stay up for the entire game. I did pick Tampa Bay to win. So, yeah, I put it out on Twitter. I just had, you know what? I just had this feeling the way that Tampa Bay played Kansas City in their regular season game in the second half. I also felt like having to travel the day before. I thought that was going to hurt Kansas City, and just the Tom Brady factor. Now, what I did not know was going to happen is that Kansas City would not throw one touchdown or get any touchdowns at all. Yeah. 3 field goals. Would have never guessed that in a million years. I thought it would be like maybe 34-30, something of that range. I'm definitely shocked by the final score and the way it went down. I know Tampa Bay's defense is good, but I didn't know that it could stop Kansas City like that.
Right.
So that's basically what happened. I mean, don't bet against the GOAT. I mean, the guy is incredible, gets an MVP again. And honestly, it really wasn't that exciting of a game. I didn't think. No, it wasn't. It was kind of boring, you know, I mean, except for the fact if you like to watch domination.
Yeah, the game was better than, I would say, the Patriots-Rams game that was 2 years ago. But yeah, and also I will say, I didn't tweet it out all fancy like Dave, but if you go back to our group chat on Friday, I said TB12 all the way. So you cannot bet against Tom Brady. I mean, just like the stats that are coming out about Tom Brady's greatness is unreal. He has 7 Super Bowls. He has more Super Bowls than like 15 teams put together. It's absurd.
No team has more.
Yeah, no team has more, but if you like add like 15 teams up, I forgot exactly which ones they were. They still don't have as many as Tom Brady, which is just incredible. So, yeah, it was fun to see him dominate. I've gone through this weird diagram with Tom Brady and me liking him to like when he first came in the league, I was young and I'm like, yeah, sure, like this guy's. You know, but then he started winning, and then I'm like, all right, like I hate you, stop winning. And now I'm like, just keep winning. This is incredible. You're 43 years old and just dominating the league still. It's just, dude, if you do this till 55, just keep rolling. 15, 15 Super Bowls in that time. It's just, it's so amazing at what he's doing at the level that he's able to do it.
Oldest quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl. He beat his own record, and he's only the second quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl in both leagues. Can you name the other one? Anybody?
No.
Peyton Manning.
I don't know if I can.
Peyton Manning. That's my favorite right there. I love Peyton Manning behind Baker Mayfield. But one thing I did learn from Tom Brady yesterday during that second quarter, when you looked in that man's eyes, it's
Oh.
like he was determined. I had never seen like a look like that. And Austin, that's when you were like, don't bet against the GOAT. I said, never again, because those eyes, he was focused and he was like, I'm getting this touchdown. Bam,
he was about to rip Tyrann Matthews' face off at one point. Right. Yeah, he was not messing around.
Yeah.
It's
not both leagues. It's two different teams. My bad on that.
Okay.
All right. I don't want the aggressive
Facebook trolls. Yeah.
We have 1 minute left and 1 minute left to discuss the performances really quickly. Holly, when we walked in today, you were just saying, "Oh man, the weekend was great." And I was like, "Really? You had a lot of sleep over the weekend?" And I forgot you're about the halftime show.
Danielle, who performed? That was funny. No, I thought it was great. And Dave's been commenting on how he felt car sick. And I understand, especially the part where he was like in the, I want to say mirrors, whatever that was.
Yeah.
You know, that was a little bit. But I just think that he's so talented. I love his voice. I love his music. So, I was dancing around the living room with the kids.
I was kind of surprised to see that the weekend got kind of a lot of hate, but I think that's kind of like the tradition that you have to hate the Super Bowl or halftime performance because I feel like just everyone complains about it for some reason. What is something to take away from this, though, is that a lot of performers typically lip sync or they'll have background of their own vocals and then they'll kind of sing over their own vocals to make it sound better. He did none of that. It was all purely live. So from a musical aspect, you have to like truly respect that because he sounded really, really good.
He did. It's so funny that you bring that up because my daughter Jessica is so into music and she said the same thing. She's like, "Mom, he is not lip syncing." Like
which is crazy.
Person that has,
Well, Gary is excited that Kansas City lost, using a few choice words. Good morning, Mary. And going back to the cold weather, Joanne has this advice to stay warm. Move.
Yeah, I was going to say that earlier. Go to Florida.
No.
I want everybody to stay here.
None of that.
Come on. Only a few weeks.
We're rough stuff.
Here we go. Well, you can catch Dave, Holly, and Maureen during the Today Show. The rest of us will see you starting tomorrow morning on Go at 4